All right, we're here. We're live. Episode 10 of the All-Star Sports Report. Different look this week. We've got Mike Campizio, Connor Coleman, Mike Robinson. Y'all say hello to the people of YouTube and Twitch
How we doing? It's a
and
full
Facebook.
house
What
today.
up? Hello.
It is a full house.
We do have a full house here today. We got a lot to talk about. But we are going to go through the nerdy stuff for Campizio and I. We're going to talk stick of ball sports first, and then we've got motors and loud engines and race cars to talk about here in a little bit. But I guess the first thing, I'll just rip through all of this. I don't know who liked the stream, but thank you or shared it. I can't see it, unfortunately.
That was me.
Oh, it was you? Oh, thanks.
You're
All
welcome.
right, NFL news, top of the day. And if we had more time, I would go in depth about the Liam Cohen Jacksonville hire, but we're not going to talk about it today. But
we also need to maybe touch base on Jets' new head coach too.
no, I've got it's on the list, brother. If you are in the doc, which you are,
Oh yeah,
you will see the
Oh
list.
yeah, I should look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably
Oh,
should,
Stroke the beard.
Oh.
Anyways, okay. Aaron Glenn to the Jets, Ben Johnson to the Bears, Josh McDaniels is back with the Patriots for a third time. He's the offensive coordinator now. Liam Cohen to the Jags. Jags fired general manager Trent Baalke. I found interesting. He tells me that Liam Cohen would only be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars if Baalke was gone. That tells me. Pete Carroll to the Raiders. And of course, we've got the NFC title. We'll talk about this a little bit, even though Connor has no idea about anything football.
No.
So we've got NFC and AFC title games on Sunday, Championship Sunday. Philly versus Washington, Buffalo versus the Chiefs. Now, the mics to my left over here. We've got it very, very interesting here. There have been 5 rookie quarterbacks to go to the title game between AFC and NFC. Do you know what their combined record is?
0-5.
0-5. Jaden Daniels
Really?
is going to be the 6th rookie quarterback to make it to the title game of his conference. So let's go ahead and talk about it real briefly. Give me your prediction. Philly, Washington, who you got? Who's going to the Super Bowl?
I guess I'm gonna go. I will go first. I think that stat is going to continue. I think the Commanders will lose this game. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it'll come down late in the fourth quarter. I think Philly will win 34-31 on a late field goal by Jake Elliott. But
He's
I think
my second cousin once removed.
I think Jaden Daniels, though, will play outstanding this game because I don't think the moment is too big for him, but I just think Philly has too much firepower. But I think it's going to be a very back and forth game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mike, you got to talk about it because it's the NFC East, and I know your favorite team is the Cowboys, and your division rivals made it all the way to a championship game. Well, go ahead. Tell us who your pick is. You probably want the game to end in a tie, or they all get bombed into the ocean or something.
I mean, if I had to choose anybody at this point, let's go Commanders because I can't really say what I want to on stream.
You got a score for us?
28-14 Commanders.
I had that as my original score, but a different team. I got Philadelphia 28-24. I did originally have 28-14, but
Before we move off the... I was going to say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, before we moved off the NFC East, did the Cowboys, did they finally finalize their hire with Schottenheimer or whatever?
I don't know.
Not
I haven't
yet.
heard that yet. I haven't
Not
heard
yet.
anything yet.
It'd be a bad hire. But
I
it'll
mean,
probably happen.
I don't think it'd be too bad of a hire.
It's
I mean,
Jerry
it could be
Jones.
worse.
It's Jerry Jones. It's a bad hire.
Mm.
All right, so AFC later on that day, we got Buffalo versus Kansas City in Kansas City. I'll just tell you who I picked. Buffalo 35-32. Campizio, you probably got Buffalo by 1 million.
Yeah, and not 1 million though. It would be a closer game. I got Buffalo 38-35 in overtime, winning in Kansas City.
Gross. Need overtime. That's not good. All right, Robinson, who you got?
I'm same as you, Gary. Same score, everything. Let's go, Bills. Bills Mafia. Fuck the dirt. Screw the Chiefs.
No.
There it goes.
Now,
There goes
since we're all clean sweep and not saving any graphics this week, who's y'all's pick for the Super Bowl? Actually, everybody except Robinson. Robinson picked Washington, so he said to go on that side. So who you got Super Bowl?
Buffalo, like a winner.
Yeah. Winner and
Buffalo
score.
Bills. I'll go Buffalo Bills winning over Philadelphia. I'll go Buffalo 35, Philadelphia 32 in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Robinson, what do you got?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a Bills and Washington Super Bowl, and I'm gonna
score.
It's gonna be close. I'm gonna give it to the Bills on this one.
Okay.
35-31.
Okay.
It's gonna be a close Super Bowl.
Now, I'm just gonna tell y'all, I think it's gonna be a lot lower scoring than what people think in the Super Bowl. Go ahead and give it to me for Buffalo over Philadelphia by a score of 21-17.
Okay.
That's gonna be your Super Bowl. That is if Buffalo can beat the refs on Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's gonna be a thing, but I think it's Josh Allen's and Buffalo's time.
Yeah, for sure.
Kansas City. What is this? I heard a stat last week, and it was 7 years in a row they've gone to the AFC title game. Like it's time for Buffalo's time to beat Goliath here.
boring.
I agree.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for a David versus Goliath battle
So
here.
we've got that. We've got the national championship game here. We're just gonna touch on this real quick. We all know what happened. Ohio State won by a score of 34-23, I think. Was the final, or 31-23, something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Notre Dame lost. It was a heartbreaking loss for the school, but I do have some comments here. Great season for Notre Dame. I mean, even with their loss to Northern Illinois, I thought their season was basically all but over. I mean, at that point, losing to Northern Illinois in the fashion that they did. Great season. Came up short for winning at all programs, in good hands with Freeman. Those are my thoughts on Ohio State. And, on Notre Dame. Ohio State, not surprised, per se, especially after the Michigan loss. They rebounded really well to win it all. Is a national title of forgiveness of sins for losing to Michigan?
No, not in my opinion. You got to beat Michigan.
I think it is just a tad bit. I think Ryan Day gets 2 more years. I still think that seat is. I still think that seat is pretty hot. What do you think, Robinson?
On what are we on, the Hall of Fame?
No, national championship game.
Oh, national champion. We all know where my bias was on that and where it should have been, but
Notre Dame.
Yeah, that too, but it should have been Texas over Ohio State. So I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
I mean, Ohio State came for blood.
Ohio
State came for blood.
I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the score was 28-7, I turned the game off.
I mean, at that point, is it even? I mean, what was it? They brought it back with an 8 in the last 4 minutes, and it didn't even matter. I mean,
Yeah.
Like so. I'm not too terribly shocked, but I mean, it was Ohio State. Like I said, they came for blood.
In my viewpoint as the Notre Dame fan, when you start a 9-minute, 85-yard drive to start the game, go down the field, run it down their throats, and score a touchdown, and go up 7-0, that's the greatest thing in the world. It's like, all right, we came to play. We got this. We came to play today. And then Ohio State just turned it on, and Marcus Freeman had a good point on his interview at halftime. He thought that the moment was getting too big for these guys, which I could see, because they did not play really good in that second quarter, and for part of that third quarter they didn't play good either. But they did fight back like they've shown all season. They fought back. They made an 8-point. Ran out of time, and they put Christian Gray, who's a talented freshman, don't get me wrong, and he made a big interception against Penn State. But you're putting him one-on-one when you're on an all-out blitz.
On Jeremiah Smith.
And Jeremiah Smith, you're not winning that matchup. But
No.
Al Golden is leaving Notre Dame to go to the Cincinnati Bengals to be the defense coordinator there.
He's signed that deal. I'm not surprised, because before he was the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, he was the Bengals linebacker coach and developed Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. So,
but just to wrap up, Notre Dame, great season overall. I was like you after that NIU game. I was kind of like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? But give credit to Marcus Freeman. All the players are buying in after the NIU game and having a great season. And honestly, I think all of us could say from Notre Dame, we got a lot further than we thought we were going to get. We made a really good playoff run. I mean, winning the Sugar Bowl, winning the Orange Bowl. I mean, that's outstanding. That's great. I haven't won a big bowl game like that in a long time. But the program's in good hands with Freeman. I think they're going to do a lot of work in the transfer portal this off season, and they got a big group of guys coming in at recruiting class next year. They got a really talented freshman quarterback too that's supposed to be really good. So looking forward to next season, and Marcus Freeman got that extension, so I think he's good. This program's in good hands, but I think now the expectation is every year though, you have to have a deep playoff run and get back to the national championship and try to win it. That's kind of what the expectations are going to be going forward now.
And I think they need to revamp the entire college football playoff as it is, but that's another show for another night. So let's go ahead briefly talk about. We got some MLB news and what else do we have?
That was it for the second ball sports.
All right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
for the ball
MLB news. You got something on the Hall of Fame here or something?
I do. Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner are elected to the Hall of Fame for this year. They will be inducted, I believe, in Cooperstown in July. I believe that's normally when that is, June or July.
No Pete Rose.
July or August.
No
July,
Pete
I
Rose.
think. No Pete Rose.
No Pete Rose. He's dead. I figured we could vote him in by now. Anyways,
You know,
that was really
should
dark.
be.
I'm sorry if we get canceled. for
No,
that. I'm not sorry.
dark or not, you ain't wrong.
But
The man-
I
AJ,
think he paid his. I think he paid his lifelong ban. So
but AJ will be happy because CC
CC
Sabathia
Sabathia.
yeah.
got in there.
Well, I mean,
he was the
he
Yankees
could-
closer for forever. So makes sense.
I mean, the same thing goes for Ichiro because Ichiro played for the Yankees as
yes,
well.
he did. So
And I mean, like, I'll be 100% honest with you. Seeing Ichiro in there makes me a very happy MLB fan.
he deserves it. He was
100%, long overdue.
Yep.
All right. So now we're gonna hit the good stuff. Now Connor's probably gonna wake up a little bit. We got NASCAR news, ladies and gentlemen. Junior Motorsports finally, they are fielding a Cup car. And it's going to be in the Daytona 500. They've got the number 40 Travelers Whiskey Chevrolet for Justin Allgaier. Do y'all know why they picked number 40?
I don't.
Okay. Travelers Whiskey is blend number 40.
Okay.
That's the 40th blend. 40 car.
Makes sense.
Now, I did not look this up, so I'm going to look it up real quick. I'm going to test y'all. Winningest driver in the 40 car in NASCAR history.
My guess.
Who do you don't think it is?
My guess would be Sterling Marlin. That would be my.
That would
guess.
be my guess too, Sterling Marlin.
Mhm.
He is actually next to Pete Hamilton. Pete Hamilton did win that one race in the Daytona 500. But if we are picking the most wins ever, it is Sterling Marlin. He's got 4, and he's actually got the most races in that car. 274 starts, 27 top 5s, 76 top 10s, almost 2,000 laps led, an average finish of 20th, and an average start of 21st with 2 poles. That's Sterling Marlin.
Jesus.
Now that goes back to like 98 or 99 when he left Morgan McClure's car to go drive for Savco, which turned into Chip Ganassi Racing later.
Yes.
So he was in that car for a long time. It was probably 7 years. 7 years,
Yeah,
something like that.
7, 8 years.
So the next guy was DK Ulrich. He had 178 starts in that car. But the other guy to win, because Landon Castle had 82 races and only had 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. Do we know what race that was?
Talladega 2014 in the fall.
Bingo, bingo. All right, so
Really?
Pete Hamilton has 3 wins and 15 starts in the 40 car. Pretty sure all those were at Daytona. Like, not exaggerating, because he only ran 15 races for the Petties in the 40 car. And I know one of them was the Daytona 500. I couldn't tell you the other 2. And the only other winner, well, there's 2 more winners in the 40 car. Jamie McMurray, as we know, Charlotte.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Volvo 2. And then Tommy Thompson.
Oh,
I don't know who he is.
Really?
I don't know who he is, but he won a
That's-
race in the 40 car.
good for him. I never heard of
No.
him, but good for him.
The last time the car was on track, do you know what time? Do you know what race the last time the 40 car was on track?
I
Ooh.
don't.
It had to
It's
be-
a lot more recent than you think.
Do not know at all.
2019 Daytona 500 with Jamie McMurray.
Oh, that's right. 'cause he ran
Oh!
that-
It was a combined effort between Spire and Chip Ganassi Racing.
That's
That's
right.
Because they changed the 40 back to the 77 or whatever, or the 7 or whatever.
Because that was his last race, right? Because he did the
that was
clash
his
and then he
last-
did
last
duels.
race. Mm-hmm.
That's right. He got involved in that big crash and the clash. I remember
He
that.
did.
Started 22nd in that Daytona 500 and finished 16th.
He was leading at one point, wasn't he? On one of those
I think
restarts?
so.
Doesn't say he's got any laps led, so I don't know.
Okay.
Could have been maybe just a handful, but he was definitely up there. He was definitely up there. All right, so that is that for a little 40 car trivia. Red Bull returns to NASCAR this year.
Yes.
Thank goodness. I believe they're going to be sponsoring Connor Zilic in a couple of Busch races. I mean, Xfinity races. In the
Busch
number
series.
88. Whatever. It's all the same. Gotta get the title sponsor right, though, before I get burned at the stake. So Red Bull is going to return to Cup for 5 races with SVG in the number 88. And they're going to be sponsoring Connor Zilic's debut in the 87 at COTA. And from what I understand, it's the 87 and the 88. They're both going to be sponsored by Red Bull at COTA.
What a partnership with Trackhouse, man. That is incredible. And 2 talented drivers too. Whew.
Yeah,
I'm
good to
stoked.
see Red Bull back in the sport in some capacity. At least on a sponsorship deal. I know they had their own team from end of 06 to 2011. but
311.
good-
Can they at
good to
least
see
bring
them back in the
Can they at
field.
least bring Gunter back? Gunter Steiner?
Oh God.
Yeah, I forgot he
Yes, please.
worked for the
He
NASCAR
did.
team there for a little
Yeah.
bit. He was like their first GM or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Gunter
Can we bring him
was
back?
there.
Can we just bring him back to sign a deal with Trackhouse?
Please.
He does not
Just-
smash my
just
door.
Just don't have him in the NASCAR booth, please, because he looked lost.
I
I ain't gonna lie, he looked lost during that broadcast.
He gave it a try. That's all.
He
I can
did
say.
give it a
did
try.
what he could.
So Jimmy Johnson, 2 races this year, just 2, unless they get more sponsors, but I doubt it. I don't know if it's Carvana or Advent Health or whoever it is, but they are sponsored. But Jimmy Johnson's racing 2 races this year in the 84, the Daytona 500, and the Coke 600. So he's going to do 1,100 miles of racing this year, just
That's cool.
not in the same day.
That's cool.
I think if they would get more sponsorship, I could see him running the Brickyard 400 and the Southern 500. Those would be the only other 2 races I would see him running. if they get
Yeah.
more sponsorship.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the Brickyard because he's had so much success there. Kings Hawaiian made the move from the RFK number 6 to the JGR number 11. That rumor is finally confirmed. I
About
believe
time.
it's like a 4 race deal. So, and then
It
I
helps.
know FedEx was only doing 7 in their last year, 7 or 8 in their last season with Denny.
And
So this kind of
Mavis,
makes up for
right?
about half of it. And Mavis is gone, but I know they're still working on some things to finalize a couple more deals. So we'll see how it drops here in the next couple of weeks.
So
He'll probably-
who is going to be Denny Hamlin's title sponsor?
I think
Have
they're just
they
gonna have to
said?
piece it together because they really haven't announced much. The biggest news they had was the Kings Hawaiian thing. That's it.
Oh, so
they
this
probably-
could be
He'll probably get a couple races with Coca-Cola too.
Yeah, I was
Normally he
gonna
does
say
it
because
Coca-Cola.
he's a Coke family
Well-
driver, probably a couple races with Coke, probably a couple races with the Jordan brand.
interstate
Bracing-
batteries.
Interstate Batteries, of course, longtime partner with JGR.
Mhm.
So they'll piece it together. Sport Clips is still with the team. So
Oh yeah, I forgot about
they'll,
Sport Clip being there.
they'll probably sponsor him in the Southern 500 like they have in the last few years anyway, or at least in the spring race.
Yeah.
'Cause they've had a tendency to be doing that.
Wouldn't you say one time that the rumor is that this could be his last year?
I just have a feeling with the lack of sponsorship they've got, probably his
Yeah.
last year driving for JGR.
And especially with the swap and crew chiefs too, with Gabe Hart.
Yeah, because that was not brought to Denny's attention. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Oh, so he didn't know.
I don't think Gabe Hart even knew.
Oh,
I
that's
think they
dirty.
literally just came into Gabe Hart's office one day and said, "Hey, you're competition director now." So, and I had a feeling that,
Oh.
and I heard a rumor in the off season that there were going to be changes in the crew chief lineup, with Chris Gale probably going away from the 54. I thought maybe because Truex retired, maybe that Jason Small was going to get moved out of his spot and and he was going to go from the 54 to the 19. I did not see this Chris Gabehart move coming. I did not see
I
that
didn't
coming.
either.
I don't think anybody saw it coming.
Definitely a left field type situation here.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Two more pieces of positive news. Casey Kane going to be driving in the Xfinity race at Rockingham. He's going to be sponsored by Hendrick Automotive Group in the number 33 car for RCR.
That's cool.
A Hendrick sponsorship on an RCR car.
It's a Chevy. It's probably a Chevy partnership. That's why.
I guarantee it's a Chevy partnership.
Now there is a guy that is going to be driving a 9 car at Rockingham, and it's not this guy on my shirt. It's Matt Kenseth. That was also finalized today.
Hey, yo, really?
Yeah, so Matt Kenseth's going to be in the 9 car from what I saw on Twitter, and I saw another place on Instagram as well. So that news started to break out later on in the afternoon, but he's going to be in the 9 car for JRM, so that'll be nice.
That's cool.
He actually won the last Cup race at Rockingham that Kenseth did. So
and
that's right, he did.
You know who he beat too?
Yeah, Casey Kane. So maybe we should see a photo finish between those two drivers coming live.
Can we get Jamie McMurray to be in 3rd place and run him down again?
Well, he's gonna be in the booth. So
get out of the booth. Kick him out the booth. Put him in a car.
Just come back for one race.
Yeah,
just one race.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, that's pretty much all the NASCAR news that I had.
Do you want to jump to the IndyCar stuff real quick before we do the other stuff?
Yeah, we'll talk about IndyCar. And then we'll finish up with IMSA and Formula One. We got IndyCar this week. They announced their booth finally. Will Buxton, James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell.
I like that. It's cool to see Buxton come over.
I've never seen Buxton in a booth type play-by-play position. I know he's been a really good storyteller in the last few years.
He's a good guy on the side of the track.
He's done a little bit of stuff for F1 TV as far as commentating, but that was like
probably at the beginning of F1 TV.
I mean, beginning, but he was also in the I don't know. He was definitely trackside in the pit lane, giving pit lane commentary. So
my thoughts is he'll have Hinchcliffe and he'll have Townsend Bell, who are two guys that obviously
100%.
Two guys that have worked together for a long time. But I think what they will do is they will help mentor him and kind of get him fully into IndyCar and kind of just, probably something during commercial break and be like, hey, look out for this, do this, kind of not like telling him to do
before the season starts. I'm sure they're probably gonna go back and watch an old NBC race. Yeah, I think the guys at Fox, because the Fox production team is gonna need help with this too. Even though they do have IMS Productions doing most of the work, they're probably gonna get together and call maybe St. Pete from last year, and they'll get to call that race themselves. So,
right.
But I mean, it'll be good to have them in the booth because to give them some knowledge and be like, hey, this is how ovals work. Because he's probably never called an oval race before.
Yeah.
No.
So I think the street and road races, I think he'll be okay. I think it's just a matter of getting to know the drivers at this point, the teams a little bit. I know he knows Prema pretty well because they're an F1, well, not an F1 team, they're an F2 team, but still, I mean, it's got to be. He knows them pretty good, so but now it's just getting to know the American teams a little better.
And I would say for IndyCar fans, just give him a chance. This first year may be a little bit rough. It may might not be the best calls you've ever heard, especially that Indy 500. He's probably gonna be very nervous to do, but give him some time, give him a year, see how he is, and then go year 2, year 3, and see if there's improvement.
I hope that they have Mike Joy as the host of the Indy 500. At least let him be there for the pre-race stuff. I think he'd be very good in that role. But
yeah,
we'll see. Him being a car enthusiast and motorsports enthusiast, I don't care if it's F1, I don't care if it's IMSA, I don't care if it's IndyCar, NASCAR. Mike Joy just knows it all. I mean, he's been there, he's seen it all. So that's why I'm always a big advocate for Mike Joy, even though some people may not really care for his commentary at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they did announce the NASCAR broadcast lineup for Cup. So this was a good announcement because this just happened in the last couple of days. Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick in the booth. That is for sure. Now, they did say Larry Mack's going to be at the track for every Fox race this year.
Nice.
So I don't know what role is that going to be. Are they going to have a 4-man booth? Are they going to have him be like what he did on TNT, and that's with like a cutaway car and like strategy stuff? Are they going to have like a stage or a Hollywood hotel for him? Not sure, but if he's going to be at the track, I would expect him to at least have some role in a booth somewhere or doing something.
Doesn't need to save more time.
But of course, they'll have Chris Myers, Regan Smith, Chris Myers doing pre-race, and then of course Jamie Little, Regan Smith doing
Hero.
recording, and probably Josh Sims there too. He can write those things in there. But that's their cup lineup. I think it's nobody's really surprised. Now there was a couple of weeks ago where Larry Mack did not have a contract. And he kind of used his push and pull with his Sirius XM job to. Mike, you got feedback somewhere.
I think is it Mike? Oh yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
sure is. Mike, turn your
Okay.
TV off. Anyways, while Mike will be right back to turn off his TV.
That is actually really weird because it just started coming through for no reason.
All right.
Yeah,
We're good.
wonderful. Anyways, we're Gucci. I was sitting there trying to talk over that. I was like, okay, all right. Now we're just gonna call you out. Sorry. I know
Not
we're
bad.
live. Anyways. Okay, so
No surprise, really.
yeah, not a surprise by that. I think they're gonna keep Mike Joy as long as he wants the job. But I do think he is closing in on retirement than he is, being brand new in the booth, obviously. Has been for a while. I just don't know who they would put in now that Adam Alexander's gone. Who you would put in Foxborough?
Part of me starting to think this is going to be trending toward Jamie Little taking over, and that's going to be oh my god.
Oh no.
That's part of me starting to think that's trending that way.
Might throw up. All right, so we all got Formula One here. Now I'm gonna let the three of y'all talk, and I'm gonna do what Connor's been doing the last 45 minutes here. Which has been, and by 45 minutes, it's really been 28 and counting. Formula One news. I'm just gonna let y'all just go for it. Talk
All
about it.
right,
It's on the sheet.
so Lewis finally made his debut at Ferrari.
Was it a test session?
It was yes, it was his test session. It was his chance to actually get his hands on the Ferrari. And what was it, Connor? Was it the 23 Ferrari? I think that's what it was.
F-175 and then last year's car.
Yeah, so he got to
23, not 24.
Yeah, it was the 2023 car. So he got to run the 2023 car and looked really good doing it. Went out initially it was wet, and then it finally dried up enough where Lewis could go out and actually set some blazes around Floriano. So so that one was really, really freaking cool. And he's gone back to his McLaren yellow. I found that out today. So that yellow that he's running is the same yellow that he ran at McLaren when he started.
Explain
out
that
there.
yellow. Is that like a yellow car number? Is that a yellow?
No, yellow
side-
helmet.
Yellow.
Yellow helmet.
Yellow
Okay.
helmet. Yes. So
His OG colors.
his OG yellow. So
Okay.
Did he do like a James Bond type of photo shoot too or something?
Okay. It was a photo shoot, but I wouldn't say it's a James Bond photo shoot. It's Don Hamilton. We got to get it right. He's in Italy. It's Don Hamilton. It's Don Hamilton, man. No, like, that photo shoot was really, really cool. The 7 windows, 8, and the door being the 8th. Little representation there. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Huge, because when was the last time Ferrari won a
dude,
championship?
2008
Yeah, with Kimi.
with Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
Dang, it's been
And
that long.
Yes.
God.
No, it was 2007. I'm sorry, 2007.
Yeah, 'cause Lewis won his first title in 08.
Yeah, Lewis won it in 08. 2007. Yeah. So
18
it would
years.
be
Wow.
huge. It would be huge, and it would be awesome if my boy could get it done and get 8.
Now, historically, I have been a Lewis hater, so not to butt in because I know nothing about Formula One, but I'm going to say what I do know a little bit. It was nice seeing him in a little bit of Ferrari red, and seeing that number 44 on a red Ferrari car, as opposed to the stupid Mercedes silver and black, trying to look like the freaking European Raiders. But
I mean, I mean, that was their whole thing, though. That's what they were called. They were called the Silver Arrows. So, got to run that silver. I'm not gonna lie. I like the silver over the black, but I'm really enjoying Lewis in Ferrari red. I wanted to say this back when we were talking about the NASCAR stuff. You'll probably see me wearing a bunch of Red Bull stuff along with Ferrari stuff this year. I'm really excited to see what goes on with Ferrari in 2025. I really hope Lewis has the balls to give Ferrari the middle finger when it comes to the strategy and say, hey, you're not going to screw me on this. We have a really good car. And if you really look at it, Ferrari has got a really good car versus what Red Bull's got going into next year. Because as me and Connor both know, Connor being a Red Bull fanboy over here, as he smirks like total fanboy, they've lost Adrian Newey to Aston Martin. So, and then you've got Liam Lawson coming over from
Team
Racing.
RB.
Yeah, Racing Bulls
the
to
sister team to the main team. Yeah.
yes. I
So,
don't.
so what has been Ferrari's missing piece? Because you could say it's Lewis Hamilton on
Strategy.
Strategy is really what set them apart over the last maybe 2 or 3 years. Because it seems like they've missed consistency, so I couldn't tell if it was car, if it was driver, if it was strategy, or a combination of all three.
It was strategy in the car for a little bit, but it was more or less the strategy for sure.
That's their downfall. That's been their downfall for years now.
I mean, it wasn't that way when. I mean, maybe from 2010 to 2013, you could say they were pretty on point with their strategy. But when they got into the V6 era, the hybrid era, their strategy just absolutely went into the metaphorical crap pond. I can't really say what I want to on that one, but and we've watched it. We watched it with Seb. We watched it with Kimmy. And even with Felipe Massa, I mean, Felipe Fernando is faster than you, and it was really not that way. And Felipe was outrunning Fernando. But, I would really like to see Ferrari pull it together. These next couple of years are going to be really, really, really interesting to watch.
So 26 is going to be a whole new world.
I was going to say, isn't 26 all these new regulations coming?
It's a whole new car and a new engine. So we're basically going back to square one again.
Yes.
So let me ask y'all this, because you guys have paid attention more to Formula One than I have in the last forever. I remember watching Formula One as a kid from 2002 to 2007, a little bit of 2008, maybe some of 2009. It seemed like the racing product was better back then. The cars were able to race a little bit better, whereas opposed to these cars now, they don't race worth a crap.
Oh, 100%.
So this new car that they're bringing to 26, is that going to improve the racing? That's what I want to know, because it seems like these guys can't run side by side.
So from 22 was, coming from DRS trains.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And before, that was annoying. Racing was boring. But when 22 came around and the racing kind of got jumbled up again, it got really good. Towards this season, we're starting to get DRS trains again, but racing has been way closer in the past few years. Qualifying, they're tenths off, like 1 to even who was
3
it?
tenths.
0.01 of a tenth off.
Yeah, it's been
it's
close. Even in the sprint
good.
races and the qualifying has been like really, really, really close. And that's what makes me excited for 26. Like 25 is about to be really interesting to see how things play out, especially with, like I said, Adrian Newey going to Aston Martin and everything. But when you
And the amount of rookies we have.
and the
coming in.
yes, and the amount of rookies, this rookie class is huge. This is
Very
a
good.
huge rookie class for F1. I mean,
So let me ask y'all
I'm
this then. So with Prema being an F2 team, were they affiliated with like Ferrari? Because they give me the
Yes.
Ferrari vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, they
So
are.
do you think
associated.
them getting an IndyCar program, kind of like what McLaren has done with their IndyCar stuff, and it seems like the with McLaren in the last few years, when their IndyCar program's running good, the Formula One program has really improved. So
Yeah.
is there something there between like maybe
I
Prema could
believe
take from the IndyCar side and maybe somehow, some way Ferrari can apply that to their F1
I could
team?
see it.
Mhm.
I could see it. Like 100%, I could see it. Um, it's wild to think about, but like when you look at McLaren coming in and being sole, like an actual manufacturer in the team or an actual works team instead of a partnership team like it was, 100%.
Mhm.
I mean, but then again, you got to remember Zach Brown runs both basically.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
That's-
so
Yeah.
he's right there. If he's not,
He's
if
able
he's
to
not
transfer that data
Exactly.
pretty quickly from one
Exactly.
team to another.
oh yeah.
if he
I
and
think-
if he's
I was gonna say I think he knows how to allocation of resources pretty well between both.
yes,
Oh yeah.
and that's something that I've really liked about McLaren these last 4 years is ever since Zach Brown took over, it's really boosted McLaren's morale.
Mhm.
And I'm starting to see a lot of really good things starting to happen within the McLaren camp on both sides. Because I mean, for God's sakes, we had Alex Palou and what was it? Or was it? I'm sorry, it was Pato O'Ward. Was at Abu Dhabi.
I was going to say, wasn't he a
Best of the
relief
McLaren.
driver the last couple of weeks
Yeah.
of the F1 season?
Yeah, he was
Mhm.
he was the relief driver. He was the third driver. I mean, and even he was saying like the vast difference between the Indy car and the Formula One car. He said it blew his mind. Like, and
Because
I
yeah,
think
they kind of look similar, but they really aren't the same, and they never really
No.
have been the
No.
same. Ever.
no,
I mean, unless we went back to like the 60s to the 80s when they went to more wing cars. Then at around that time, maybe there was similarities at that point, but
to an extent, yeah.
I mean, basically from like the mid to late 90s after the IndyCar kart split all the way to now. I mean, the IndyCar
Yeah, it's
Formula One
just
car gap is
That
just
that
widened.
gap, like just
Yeah.
one
Widened.
end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Rumors about Max possibly going to Aston Martin to
Reunite with
go
Newey?
and
Not true.
not true.
Not true. Seen
Uh,
it. It's not true.
Damn it.
Max ain't leaving Red Bull.
I mean, if
Aren't
he
you changing manufacturers to Ford
Ford.
engine supplier?
yes,
It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
yes.
it's a partnership.
so-
They're doing the hybrid part of it, not the engine. Engine's still going to be all Red Bull because it's going to be Red Bull powertrains.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
But
with
Ford's
that,
giving data for the hybrid side, which makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean, if you look at Ford, like with their street cars in the last, I don't know, 10 years, their EcoBoost stuff, like on the street side, has been very good.
Yeah, and it's
I would
been
say-
around for a while.
I was going to say, you could
Yeah.
arguably say it's right up there with Toyota, with how good they are.
oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So
Like
that'll be. I thought that was an interesting partnership they had with Ford moving forward.
Mhm.
Because that
I
starts
mean-
this year, right?
Next year
next year, yeah,
That's right,
26.
with the new cars. That's right.
with the new engine.
Now, one thing I would like to see Max do is, and I don't know, you probably saw it, him and Yuki doing the Acura test.
Yep.
I would really like to see Max say, "Hey, I want to go run the Daytona 24." I would like to see him do some
Something
kind of
else.
sport. Yes, I would like to see him do some kind of sports car before he
It's too old and out of his prime.
well, it's not just too old and it's out of his prime before this Ford thing kicks in. Because
Well,
and that's what now that you jog my
Ford
memory,
is exploring a
Yes.
hypercar.
which I think would be kind of cool.
And even if they don't get it by 2026, let's just say, right? They could put Max in the GT3 class,
Mm-hmm.
which would be
very
interesting, putting him in a
But
in a Mustang.
knowing how Max would be, yeah, he's going straight to the top.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah,
would
if
be-
Ford
yeah.
if Ford had a an LDH car ready to go,
They'd put him
Verstappen
in a
would be in it,
GT3
for
car
sure.
for a
Ford
fun-
would be stupid not to put him in there.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Well, that
I mean,
he'd probably try and bring his team over here anyways if he tried to run in IMSA or anything like that.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
he decided to, I could see it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
There would definitely be a Red Bull influence somewhere in all that. For sure.
oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Now, another big thing is Mercedes. Do you think that they can rebound? Do you think they'll be able to rebound after
Not this year.
losing
I don't
Lewis?
think so.
Not
Not
this
this
year.
year.
Think
They're gonna have Kimmy, which is a rookie, and then
Kimi
you have
Antonelli, yeah.
So George is going to be the strong foot. Kimmy, I mean, he got kind of screwed that outing he had that one time, but then he also did mess up. So it's kind of like
That is fair.
But
I
he only
mean-
has one outing, so it's kind of we don't really know.
I
Yeah.
mean, George has proven to be a really solid driver for Mercedes, I think, but I think it's going to take more than just one man and one team to bring
Yeah,
that team back up to
100%.
where it is.
I mean, we seen one team this past year or run with only one driver, so we know how it is. It's
Yeah.
tough.
yeah.
You got one driver scoring only points. You're not going to do so hot.
Is
Yeah.
is Mick Schumacher still the reserve driver for next year for Mercedes?
What
I
is
think
I
so.
don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what Matt Mick is doing.
I think so. I know he's driving for Alpine still for WEC.
Because I
Yeah.
remember seeing him next to
Well-
Toto Wolff a lot last year.
Well, now there was some things going around the rumor mill that he could head up Audi. Like he could be one of the actual Audi drivers. Now, that would be kind of cool to see because I feel like Mick really deserves another shot. But if he can't, I mean, it would make sense that he's a reserve driver.
What is the other? Isn't there another manufacturer coming? Is that Toyota that's coming in or something?
No, Cadillac.
Cadillac. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, that's
Cadillac,
what it was.
not till
Cadillac and
2026.
Yeah.
Pretty Global
No,
or whatever the hell they're
It's
going to call
not.
themselves.
It's not Andretti.
Or it's Group 1007 or whatever.
Yeah, it's something
Yeah.
different. It's something different.
Basically
but
Spire, from what I heard. Because like
Yeah.
the co-owner with Michael before Michael dropped out was heavily involved with the Spire effort. I think he was a co-owner in Spire Motorsports on the NASCAR
Yeah.
side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all kind of like blended together at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the lines are really running together on that one.
Yeah, especially if you look at the sponsorships. A lot of the
Yeah.
Spire sponsorships are very similar to what Andretti has on their side.
Yes, and it's gonna be something else seeing Cadillac in there. I can't wait to see Cadillac in Formula One. That's something I forgot to put in the notes. I'm really
I think you're really going to see a shift with GM going from Chevrolet as far as their racing brand
To Cadillac.
to Cadillac. I think you're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of that over the next couple of years on the NASCAR
100%.
side. You'll probably still have Chevy Silverado for truck because I don't see them getting up that name brand recognition. And
Yeah,
Cadillac doesn't
no.
have a truck.
Yeah.
So, but Cadillac is definitely going to be more of their performance racing automotive side,
Yes.
I think, for years to come.
Mhm.
100%. 100%.
Wouldn't shock me if they even switched everything over to Cadillac for the IndyCar side.
That would be so cool.
I mean, it's basically just a badge switch. Because people are like, oh, well, Cadillac goes to NASCAR. If they go to this, they're going to suck. It's like, you know how many decades of data they have from Chevrolet?
A lot.
And it's the same
General
company.
Motors.
It's the same freaking company. Like,
Yeah.
why do you think Pontiac ran so good all those years? It's the
Well-
same company.
Yeah.
Technically, I work for GM, so I know.
Like,
there you go.
the parts, and I'm probably way off base here, but the parts that you probably put in the GMC Sierra are probably the same damn parts you're putting in the Silverado. Just saying.
It is.
Guaranteed.
It is because I sell them.
You heard it here first, folks.
Right.
Heard it here.
Like,
It's all the same.
yeah, I mean,
It's all the same.
now I thought Buick, it was going to be Buick there for a little while, but
That would have been cool.
that would have been cool to see Buick make it.
That would have been
But
cool to see Buick come back.
it's been Cadillac for sure.
Yeah, the only problem is Buick only makes little tiny 4-door SUVs, so
But you
Oh yeah,
can
because they
see-
dropped their car line completely. That's right.
they have no cars. They're
But you can
little
s-
And
SUVs.
that's why I said Chevrolet. If they do like keep that name brand in there, I guess they're going to go to the Nissan of like fleet vehicles with the Malibu. Because you know how
Yeah.
Nissan is, they just have the Altima,
But
Yeah.
and that's what you get at Enterprise when you go rent a car is an Altima.
yeah, but you
Nine
can
times out of
see
10.
you can see too with Cadillac trying to go more, into Formula One, and then trying to make a switch over to NASCAR and IndyCar. They're trying to get the young people to buy Cadillacs because Cadillac for a long, Cadillac for a long time it had the thing of only older rich people buy Cadillacs. But
What
now
you
it's
trying
like,
to say, Capigio?
I have two in my driveway, and it's not me. So it's not me, but there's two in my driveway.
Yeah.
But
Grandma's got one.
I
Go-
did not expect that. That was good.
that was good, right?
That was good.
But going into Formula One, a lot of young people are watching Formula One, so it's like
Mhm.
I
time
mean,
to
and
do-
that it's really the same thing if you think about it with Lincoln. Lincoln used to be the same way. Lincoln's like the old people Ford,
Yeah.
Lincoln Mercury, the whole old people Ford, and then you got Cadillac. Well, no, now we want to gear it back towards what we were gearing it to back in the early 2000s when we were gearing up for the Cadillac Escalade with spinner rims and everything like that. That I could see them trying to reach back out to the younger people like they did when
Well, and
we were young.
I just want to say this: I think Cadillac going into Formula One is genius.
Oh,
And
100%.
One thing that I think IMSA and Formula One got it beat right now over NASCAR and IndyCar. And I was just watching a YouTube video about this the other day. NASCAR is struggling with the younger crowd as far as getting them to
Yeah.
stay engaged and watching their races. Look at what IMSA does. They hardly ever have commercials. You look at F1. They never have commercials.
Mhm.
From the time that they start talking in their pre-race to the time they get done with the podium interviews, there's no ads, and it
None.
keeps you engaged the whole time. Where and even I'm 30. I can't say I'm sitting here as a young guy, but like during the ads, like for a NASCAR race, I'm doing? I'm not watching your ads. I'm on this. I'm on my computer.
You're looking
I'm
at
doing
Twitter. Looking at Twitter
right.
to see if anything happens. Yep.
Right. Like I'm looking to see if Civil War II is going to break out on Twitter because Bubba Wallace is leading the race or something, whatever the case might be. But,
Yeah, I mean,
NASCAR's got to do something. And I get it. They go ad heavy on the first half of the races. So the second half of the race and the end isn't filled with all those ads. But like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
full
I gotta
screen
say-
ads, NASCAR's got to figure it out.
Peacock and Daytona 24 do not mix. I have 2 years of watching the Daytona 24 on Peacock. There's too many ads. Like
Yeah.
coming from watching WEC on Paramount or not Paramount, what is it?
HBO
On
Max.
HBO.
Oh yeah, HBO. I forgot the WEC is on there.
Like
Mhm.
no ads. Peacock, I mean, it's a news company. It's freaking CBS, so it's gonna
NBC,
you're
but
gonna-
yeah,
NBC, same as Peacock.
it's all the
Same
same.
color.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
damn color. They're all connected. But it's just the ads that I saw last year was just too much.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's 24 hours, but
It seemed
I'm
like it
sitting
went
here for
like
24
whenever
hours watching.
NBC would go to break or whenever USA would go to break, whoever was holding the TV coverage at that time, whenever they went to break, Peacock also went to break. And it's like, if we're doing this pay-per-view stuff, which by the way, I'm okay with, but if we're doing this pay-per-view stuff, there should be no ads.
100%.
It should be like the old days. You remember how in the old days, in like the 80s and 90s, you get the raw satellite footage of like an IndyCar race or a NASCAR race or Formula One or
Football
whoever.
game.
If they would go the ads, you would still be able to hear the booth. Okay, that's what I'm expecting with Peacock. Like, if I'm paying for that stuff, like I'm expected to hear the booth
Just
talk to each other
split it.
during a commercial and talking crap. Just saying.
Put it on the side. Like, put it on the side of the screen. Don't take the whole race away.
Yeah,
I was
picture,
looking-
side by side, something like that. Yeah.
I was looking at something earlier today. I believe everything from like 6 p.m. tomorrow night through like 1 p.m. or 12 noon the next day, it's all on Peacock, because I think it's NBC and USA for like the first couple hours, and then it like Peacock only for like literally the entire night.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of expected at this point.
Yeah.
Breaking.
and then,
Especially
Sorry.
since NBC doesn't have a sports channel anymore. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Go
hate
ahead.
to
Breaking
change-
news.
I hate to change subjects, but breaking news: the Cowboys are hiring offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. It is official from Adam Schefter.
Wow.
Hey, Mike. You want me to get you some bleach or maybe a rope?
We'll hold off till about middle of the season. How's that?
All right. Okay. Cool.
For now, I'll just stick with my beer.
All right. So I do have an ad read. We got to pay some bills here
Yeah,
real quick,
pay
y'all,
some bills.
before we go into this. But W is a brand of energy drinks designed to be clean, flavorful, and focused on energy. Use code AS15TV for 10% off on any order at checkout. Go to w.gg to place your order today. Can confirm as a W user, it's great stuff. I think Connor has used it before. He can confirm that it's great. Robinson, you're broke, so you probably haven't tried it.
At
I'm
least,
trying to get.
hey, look, at least not for the next couple of weeks, okay? You give me a couple of weeks, and we're gonna get the best W ever.
Yes.
Yeah, there you
is
go.
amazing.
Now, Capriccio, he's scared because he likes his Coke, and that's what he's going to stick with.
You know what, Campigio?
You gotta try some.
Get some huevos, bro. Come on, you gotta try
Oh.
that. You gotta try it.
So what I'm going to do when he comes here to Indy, surprise, I'm going to tell you this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna make you try some W.
That's fine. I'll try it.
Okay.
I will try it in Indianapolis.
Hell yeah!
All right, there
Let's
we go.
do it. You
So
have to film his reaction.
Oh, I'm not going to record nothing. I'm just going to tell you.
I'm
So
just gonna tell you.
yeah, before we go into our Daytona 24, because that's the real reason why we're all here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, we just happen to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
other racing stuff while we're here.
Yep.
Going on strong. And Earnhardt has also raced a 40 car at least once. Oh,
Oh, that's right.
not Jeffrey Earnhardt. Kerry Earnhardt raced the 40 car in the Busch
Yes.
Series a couple times.
Yes,
right.
he did.
I forgot about that. And I think maybe Cup 2 at some point.
Yeah.
And I think Jeffrey Earnhardt probably raced the 40 car in Cup at some point, but I totally forgot about. And Earnhardt racing in the 40 car. That's right. He did that for Fitz Bradshaw.
Okay.
Back in the day. Because when Fitz would have the 12 and the 14, they would field the 40 sometimes. I think Kerry drove that car. 40.
Yeah.
A couple of occasions when
did.
they were still when they switched to Dodge. So that had to have been around 02, 03,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So,
I want to say 02 sounds about right.
yeah. So I know he raced for Fitz Bradshaw full time in 01, and I think they
Yes.
were Chevrolet.
Yeah.
I remember him being
yeah,
in
they
the
were.
12 Jan King Chevrolet.
Yep.
I think I had a diecast of that at one point. Anyways, so I digress. I just saw Ryan's comment, and he's probably not even watched anymore. But we got one viewer. Thank you to our one viewer. But we got IMSA Daytona 24 coverage. Dries? Is that how you pronounce it? Dries? I don't know.
Trees?
Anyway. Fantor, I don't know. He drives the
Oh,
24
boy.
car
Mhm.
for Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing and their BMW GTP. They actually won the pole for the Daytona 24. They're going to be
Hell
starting
yeah.
up front
And
tomorrow. And I
we
believe
have
that is BMW's first pole ever.
It is.
Yep,
It is.
The
Good stuff.
competition. So
Nice.
And F1 drivers in that. Okay, Mag.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
K-Mag. That's
Young
right.
Magnussen
right.
is driving
Yep.
for them this year. That's right.
It's
And
that's
in
gonna
the
be
24 car.
And in the
Yeah,
24.
it's-
That's right.
It's gonna be hard not to root against them because it's K-Mag, and I love K-Mag.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, his
Very
dad was a
impressive
great
driver.
sports car driver too. Jan was a good one too.
Yeah. So, Tower Motorsports, the number 8 car, that is one of the drivers is Sebastian Bourdais. In LMP2 class, they won the pole in their category. I think Sebastian was the one driving the car. But good to see Seabass running good, even though it's LMP2 and not the hybrid division this year. Conquest Racing, yes, that same Conquest Racing that raced in IndyCar back in the day. They have a Ferrari, and they won the pole for the GTD category.
That's so wild that it's not
And it's a Ferrari.
Do they have qualifying for the pro class too?
It's the same. It's the same
It's
field.
the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
They don't separate the GTD versus the pro. They send all the GTDs, I think, out
Okay.
at the same time.
Got it.
no. What I
They,
am
now
shocked-
I think they are scored differently.
they are
but,
scored differently.
But as far as like for the lineup, I think they just throw them all in there at the same time. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything pro versus regular GTD stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Now there were. This is what I was gonna say. I do find it weird that it's not Vassar Sullivan up front.
I'm okay with the parity. I'm okay with that. Now they have struggled last year. They were kind of struggling a little bit with the new Lexus, so I don't know if they're just having struggles carrying over from last year to this year a little bit. Which
Yeah,
I'm
mean,
okay
that's
with. I thought the
fair.
run was cool for a little while, but it's good to see a little bit of parity. Now, I don't think Conquest Racing is going to win the race in the Daytona
No.
24.
No.
I think the Corvettes in particular are going to be tough to beat this year because they have a few lineups and a couple of cars that are going to be really, really tough to beat.
Yes.
Primarily Trackhouse. I still think in GTD class that Trackhouse is going to win. That
Where are they
class.
starting
Yes.
at tomorrow?
I don't know, but they're going to win. It doesn't matter where they start. It's a matter of them kicking ass
Exactly.
and winning the race. That's where I
What
stand
this
on
guy
that.
said. What this guy said.
Um,
I
Standing
don't know
on
what their
business.
I don't know what their class is, but it'll be 32nd overall.
Okay.
Yeah, so that sounds pretty decent at least. Front.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to win. GT3 class. I really do.
Yeah.
Like they've got a star-studded lineup, and
They've got SVG in that car, man. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got SVG driving that GTD. So I'm
yeah, they're going to be
like
fine.
like I said earlier today when you and I were talking, I'm pulling very hard for Trackhouse this year. Like this is probably the first time I've actually not rooted for Hendrick. And
I've liked Trackhouse for a while. I mean, I liked them when they first got into the sport.
Yeah.
When I found out they were going to be a thing toward the end of 2020, and they bought that charter, and I've always kind of liked Suarez a little bit.
Mhm.
But I've always liked Trackhouse. Always been a big fan. I just don't have the
Yeah.
keyword.
Keyword, yeah.
I mean, it's the same way with me. It's the same way with me and the Ferrari. So
But yeah, that's my prediction to win on the GT class. I think I said that a few weeks ago when we were talking about the entry list.
Lineups, yeah.
Now I do think Wayne Taylor Racing is still going to win the Daytona 24 in the 10 car.
Dude,
Specifically,
that livery on that
Yes.
Cadillac, that blue thing, oh my god, that's so good.
and the 40
Yes.
car is looking good too.
Yeah,
I like both their
yeah.
cars. I think they both have a shot to win. I just hope it's a Taylor and Victory Lane. I don't care if it's Jordan or if it's Ricky.
Oh, I would
Mhm.
like it to be Jordan because I'm a Jordan Taylor guy.
I'm a Jordan Taylor fan as well, for sure.
Jordan is definitely the clown of the family. I will say that, and I'm proud
For
to be
sure.
part of it.
For sure.
I will say, since we're talking about the race, the weather forecast is no rain all weekend, but it will be cold.
It is going to be cold AH, okay? I mean, it is going to be cold. Cold. I think Brandon was telling me it's going to be like 40 degrees.
It's gonna be
Mm.
cold.
That's cold
Or-
for Florida.
That is
Yeah.
very
40
cold
or
for
50.
Florida.
I mean, I know it's warm compared to Chicago,
Oh yeah,
okay?
it's warm
Yeah.
compared to
But-
us, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Or
Yeah.
Indianapolis right now, because I think we're
Yep.
at a rocking like 20 or 17 degrees right now. But
Woo!
it's still cold for Florida.
It is.
Sorry.
But you know those
I would
cars-
still be walking around in a hoodie and jeans. Okay, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go right down to Florida and be like shorts and flip flops for the weekend at the Daytona 24. I'm just
but-
saying.
Yes, don't lie to yourself. Yes, you would.
No,
But you know what?
no.
But you know what you're gonna see though, especially in the overnight hours, maximum grip and a lot of speed with these things.
Oh,
But
yes.
the key thing though is, and we know this from our Daytona 24,
Yo.
those tires are
Oh, yeah.
very, very hard to warm up, even
Yes.
in great conditions at night. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
what
if it's going to be in the 30s,
Oh, you're
it's
struggling.
they're going to be tiptoeing.
They're gonna struggle.
They're gonna be
Yeah,
tiptoeing.
you're tiptoe through the window.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's.
So-
I mean, it's gonna suck.
Well, let's go ahead. Yes, I let's go ahead and let's talk about our Daytona. 'Cause, you know, we don't get to pat ourselves on the back too often.
No.
No.
but we got the winning crew chief and 3 of the winning drivers here and on this podcast here. Mike, you really came to me a few months ago and wanted to put this effort together.
Yes.
So let's Robinson, not confused. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, give credit where it's due.
I just asked if PJ to be the crew chief, and he said, "Of course." So,
Yes, sir.
but Robinson, go ahead, talk about your processing and putting this effort together. We added Karsten last minute, but I mean, throughout we had some really solid drivers in that car. But yeah, talk about the effort, man.
Well, really, it came about because of this other guy over here. You know,
Me.
we had been running on another team, and just it kind of got to the point to where it was just me, him, and 2 other guys that just actually joined our team within the last few days, a couple hours. And we just got fed up, started Spartan Esports and started tasting a little bit of success there. And we were like, dude, we got something here. Let's keep this momentum rolling. And then the whole thing came along where we ended up merging Spartan into Warrior after Petite. And it was like, dude, we need to keep this thing rolling in through Daytona, because I felt really good about going into 2025. I mean, the lineup that we put together through 2 cars just really, really, really blew me away. That main
The
car,
chemistry between the 2 cars was incredible.
it was
As far as the other driver in our cars, it was Paul and Karsten. Shout out to those guys, because I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, big shout out to those guys.
they put in work after I screwed up. Okay, they put in some work.
I'm
Now,
sure
I do want to say, from people that I've heard that have watched my little incident, so we'll talk about it. This is my first 24. I'll just talk. I thought I knocked it out. I thought I was doing great. I'm just,
100%.
my first stint and what
First
ended
stint
up
was
being
great.
my only stint in the car, I thought was phenomenal. Went out there, was running consistent, was slowly picking this up through the field, through those first few hours.
Ran that 138.
Yeah, you did.
I did run a 138, and a lot of it was 139s and 140s after that. Second stint didn't start out so hot, but the car just felt different because I don't think I really practiced or anticipated like the cold temps like I thought I was going to be able to do.
Right.
And then I don't know what happened going into 1. I really don't know. I know I had a car to my outside. I know that, but I was just hitting the brakes and I was shifting down, from 6 to 5, and then when I got into 4th in particular, something happened with the car. It wasn't me.
I think like me and Carson had said before, I think there was wheel hop going into 1. There was a lot of wheel hop going into 1 under braking.
Well, and that was the lowest that I had run all night up to that point going into that corner, because I think I was letting a couple prototypes by.
Yeah,
if I recall.
you were.
And from what Joe was saying, he was like, yeah, there was a little bit of wheel hop, but it's like the car glitch too. I guess there was a little bit of a glitch from when
there was a small hiccup.
Yeah, it was something. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was my connection to the server. I don't know what happened. But ended up wheel hopping somehow. And I hadn't really done that all day, like ever at all. I hadn't wheel hopped. And then
You did get into the marbles and then the grass, so
Yeah.
Once you hit those marbles, it was over for.
I was a passenger. Let's be real.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't
I
even
mean,
grab a gear
teased on that
because
thing.
when I hit the wall, I was still in 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
Laura had
I couldn't
teased.
even grab a gear.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try and grab it, but it's not. I can grab for it, but it ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, there ain't nothing there. But
We lost the nose that time.
I
we
mean,
did.
and that's all
Um,
we lost. That's all we lost. And I mean,
That's-
it could have
that
been.
Well,
was the
and the right
crazy
front
thing.
suspension,
Worse.
because I was
Yeah.
going to try and drive it back to
Yeah.
pits,
And you couldn't.
and I couldn't. Like, I went through the kink and I just went straight. There was no. So I had to stop and get out of it. And I was just like, you know what? And that's when I also realized to myself, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get out of this car and let these fast guys just kind of.
I mean, and through that overnight though, man, it was
You
lights out.
and Connor and Paul really put in work overnight. And I know Carson was
Yeah.
there a
Oh,
little bit
dude.
too. But
Yeah.
I know you guys really put in. I went to sleep. I said, screw this.
I
I
want to say for everybody in the overnight hours how we were rolling together and everything, having everything flow like from crew driver's standpoint, crew chief standpoint. Joe Darnell was a big help on the crew chief side
Oh,
over the night
dude,
out.
Joe was
But
killer.
Joe was a rock star.
we had our adversity, we changed course, we adapted, and everything was flowing. And I give you guys a lot of credit for driving overnight and everything. And Carson, I know Carson was running so low on
Dude.
Oh, so
stuff.
much.
He was
no
on
energy.
fumes. He was
Yeah.
on
No
fumes.
energy.
I mean, I felt bad taking him out of the car, but hearing
had-
the way he would,
Yeah.
hearing the way he woke up, I was
Yeah.
like, nah, he ain't getting back in that car.
That and like
I
noticed
love
it-
Karsten. I love him to death. Fast guy, but
Mhm.
he was way too
Yeah, where
tired
those-
to get
where
back in
those
that car.
Lap times were sitting. That stint he was doing. I was like, yeah, buddy, you need to.
Yeah,
take a
you
nap.
need to go to sleep.
And I
Like,
kept telling him, I'm like, but if you don't feel it, or like we're gonna make an adjustment here. And Connor, I thank you for being like ready to go as soon as that,
Yes.
because I didn't want to keep him in there that second stint. I was like, we got to make this switch.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you could tell he was starting to kind of drift at the wheel by the way he was talking, and it was just like, yeah, no, he needs to go to bed.
Yeah. Well,
I mean-
and it was good at the end of the race there because, giving Joe a little bit of a break and giving you, Kimpy, a little bit of a break, being able to call Mike home finished it.
Oh, dude, man, I'm still buzzing about the whole thing. Like
Same.
It's my second Daytona 24 win. It's Kimpy Joe's second Daytona 20. So we've
This is
been
my-
there before.
my
We've done
first
it.
Everything.
yeah, it's
So-
mine and Connor's maiden 24 victories. So
Connor, kind of just talk about a little bit about your whole experience with everything over the weekend there,
Um,
Connor.
So, I mean, I came into Daytona. I love Daytona. Anytime it's in officials, I'm driving it. Even IMSA, like I love Daytona. But getting to do a 24-hour with y'all guys, like, and how me and Mike have ran things with Spartan and then the other time, how smooth everything goes with me and him. And how smooth this weekend went and how it all was all put together was amazing. Like that, and being able to get to show that I could be fast. Y'all mostly met me on our Wednesday nights in NASCAR, and I'm not very quick in stock cars.
but you're consistent. That's the crazy
You're
dumb
getting
thing.
there.
Is you're
We'll
super
take,
consistent.
we're working on that.
You-
We'll take it to the next level.
you put me in any kind of road car, I'm gonna be trying to be as fast and as consistent as possible. And I believe I helped tremendously overnight.
Oh,
with that.
dude.
Yeah.
Especially my last few stints when the track was just
Starting to come up to temp. Yeah.
man, when it was sitting there at that 68 forever.
It was
and
like
then you,
67, 68. It
you
didn't
come out of the
fluctuate at
pits,
all.
and it's a little loosey goosey that first lap. But once you get around that other time and you start throwing it into the corners, those first 5 laps, man, it felt so good.
Or if you just spin the car, that'll warm up.
I mean,
Oh,
I
that-
did that a
yeah.
couple of
Yes.
times. So, I mean,
I
it
did that.
is
I
what
did,
it is.
I did that a few times. It helps. Not very well, but it helps.
But
Can't
no,
really cool them down
was
very well.
it was a blast. Right,
It
I
was.
will say here,
It was.
This is the first and last time I will do it as a driver.
He got that win.
I
He
went
got
one
that
for
win
one.
as a
I'm being
driver.
smart here. I'm out.
No, We're putting you in a car for Bathurst. I'm sorry.
No, we're not. He is going on the box. He's like, no.
Sebring is
No.
is the next time that you'll see me in a car. And
We're gonna put a cross. We're gonna put a cross on Skyline for Gary.
but no, it was fun. I'll be back on the pit box stick to help us to defend that win, because
And
let's just say I know where my greatness lies as far as prototype racing. That's on the box calling the race.
and let's give a shout out to our second car. How much adversity
Yeah,
they went
Nate
through.
Those
Orlowski,
guys.
Craig Taylor,
77.
Zach Taylor, Rams, and
Tavish.
Nate Orlowski.
Nate Orlowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Those
guys.
guys.
They lost their nose 4 or 5 times, and they still came out and finished second overall.
They dealt with so much
Second in
rain,
class.
too.
Second in
So
class.
much
Second in
rain.
class. Sorry, second in class. That's second overall. Second overall in their class, I guess.
Yeah.
But Zach Taylor was kind of beating himself up after on Sunday. He was like, "Man, I cost a set race." What do you mean? Well, we were leading with 6 hours to go. I was in the car in the rain, and he had done a lot of practice at night in the rain because he kind of had a feeling that he was going to be in the car during the rain stint, just with how the schedules fell and everything. But he was saying with about 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours to go, he was going to the bus stop in the rain and just killed it. The car did something that it hadn't done all night, and just lost it going into the bus stop.
It's that rain. You get off just barely.
Yeah.
That was the crazy thing, though, because it was like we had no rain in our lobby at all, but like everybody in that
The
7
fog
a.m.
was dense.
The
Oh
fog
my
was dense,
God.
but like everybody in that 7 a.m. thing, that was like a rain-filled session for anybody that did
Yeah,
at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
seems
and
like
and I
everybody.
think everybody in the 11. I don't think
there was a couple of people in a couple of splits that had rain in the 11 a.m. But like we were one of those very, very, very few that had just the thickest of thickest fog. I mean, it was almost pea soup at one point through the overnight, and that was something else. Man.
that looks sketchy. I will admit for sure.
Once I seen it hit up to 25, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
man! And
But,
once that sun started coming up, it was you could really see how foggy it was.
Yeah. But I will say again, shout out to the second car. They came close to winning. I think if that mistake by Zach Taylor doesn't happen, I do win class because they were kicking some tail too. I mean, the setup was on rails. Shout out McConey Setup Shop and Jeff McConey, shameless plug, sponsored.
Yes.
For them, bringing a really good setup for us to be able to drive. I know we made a couple of changes that Joe Hutchins suggested. Shout out to Joe for helping us a little bit with what he was able to.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good solid weekend overall for the team. Couldn't be happier. And now we've got a lot going on for
next couple of months.
Bathurst and Sebring. We got a couple of things in the works. Actually, you know what? We're here.
Let's go over it. Let's go
ahead and talk about Bathurst since we're on this high from Daytona. We got 3 cars, right, for Bathurst.
Yes.
So we've
3
got
cars.
the primary car, the 11. I'll be on the box with you, Robinson,
Mike B. and
Coleman,
Connor.
and Mike B driving. So that'll be nice. Is it Mike B or is it?
Yeah.
That
Close enough.
that is my birthday weekend, but I will be watching and cheering you guys on.
You'll be with the 24 car in spirit. How's that?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got the 67. That's the second team. Who's on
And
that car?
that one's Zach Taylor, Craig Taylor, and Tavish.
They worked really good together at Daytona, so
And then
hopefully more of the same results for Bathurst. But what we got for the 24?
The third car is Paul Irvin, Nate Orlovsky, and Rams, actually. So they're gonna kind of got a mix of the first car spread out across 2 cars and got the second car filled out with guys that ran Daytona together. So that's gonna be real fun. And then we've got Sebring on the table. We got Sebring coming up. Already got 2 cars for that one. That one's gonna be a fun day for me.
Yeah, so we got the Ferrari GTP car with I believe Mike Robinson, Connor, and
Mike B.
For that one.
Mike B and Craig Taylor for now. And then got we've got the GT3 with me, you, and Shane.
Yeah.
So
yep, and the 67. So that'll be fun.
that one's gonna be a
And
really
we
fun
might
race.
field
Well, I mean,
another
you're-
GTP, or we might field another GT3. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
Gotta see how.
Mike's
how
crazy
much-
ass gonna run that shit twice.
Well, I kind
Might.
of after listen,
Oh
listen.
my
Okay,
God.
after what we did at Daytona, I kind of feel like I've been Keating at this point. I
Yeah.
want to run. I've always wanted to do a double duty within the team that I'm already driving for, and Sebring is the prime place to do it.
So since y'all
I mean-
are running at 7 a.m. and I'm running at 11 a.m., y'all don't wreck the car in the 7.
Yeah, trust me. Us three. If you got me, Connor, and Mike in it, that car is finishing that race.
So we're doing
I
GT
will-
on that one.
Yeah, we're doing GTP for that one.
Yeah.
We're
I was
doing the
gonna s-
499 on
You,
that
you
one.
guys are in the Ferrari for that one. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was gonna say I will be back on the box for Sebring.
Hell yeah, man.
So, put him on the 11. You guys will win.
Yeah, we're definitely putting him on the 11. I mean, and then we've got we're definitely going to be doing the last 3 24-hour events. We're going to do the quad here.
So we
Yep.
got Nürburgring, Spa,
Nürburgring, Spa,
Majors
and then
24,
Majors 24. But
Yep.
Majors 24 is going to be the one right before we do Spa. So Spa is going to be our last
Ooh.
one of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna
And
and
Nürburgring's in
June.
May, isn't it?
No, Nürburgring is at the beginning of June.
Yeah.
Nürburgring's at the beginning of June. Then we got Majors 24 a week before the end of June, and then we've got
Watkins Glen in
Watkins
between.
Glen the week after.
I was gonna
And then
say
then July 11th is our last 24-hour run, and I was like, man, that's the big four, and if we have the ability to all run the big four in one season, and be able to just say we have that accolade that we've ran the big four, the 24-hour races, that's an accolade. That's an
Mhm.
accolade I would love to be able to say, yeah, I've ran all of these and won one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So I was gonna ask then, obviously Watkins Glen and then Petit Le Mans at the end of the year. Those would be two that we wouldn't do, or we would still.
oh,
do
we're
those.
definitely we're doing
No,
that.
Okay.
they're going to be spreading their wings out here, KPGO. They
Alright.
want to run
Yep.
We want
all
to
the
fly.
endurance races that we can run. So they're going to
Cool.
run. They're going to run
There's
Indy. They're going to run Petit.
Gonna run
Suzuka's-
Bathurst,
The Bathurst 1000. Yep, that's on the table, and I
Yep.
believe Suzuka is
Yeah,
on the table as
and
well.
Suzuka is on the
Oh,
team.
definitely.
Suzuka's definitely going to
Cool.
be. Pretty sure Suzuka is the final race that we have at the end of the year.
Yep.
At least for the European leg, and the European Asian leg it's definitely, I think, Suzuka, but the American leg is definitely Petit Le Mans, and we've got a really busy 2024. I think between
25,
May and June.
25.
25. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a very
Third one, you
busy.
can't make that mistake now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And my birthday's next week. Lovely. You know. So I mean,
Old.
yeah, I know, right? A beard shows it. But no, like it's gonna be a very fun packed 2025 for both road and oval sides. So I mean,
Yeah, because we got
I'm-
the iNASCAR racing series coming up here in a couple
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
Next week they've got
Mm-hmm.
practice
Testing.
all 3 days, so a little preseason thunder testing for
And we will
truck,
be-
Xfinity, and Cup. So
And XMS will be doing our last two races for the XMX next week.
XMS is wrapping up, so that'll be good.
we're about to have some fun, and
Yeah.
this
Really
this-
looking forward to that. And then, of course, on the oval side a little bit, we got the Daytona 500 coming up here in just a couple of short weeks. Hopefully, we can get a couple of people together to do.
I think we're gonna have like 4 or 5 cars fielded for this race, easy, for Daytona, maybe more.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
you're gonna
so-
have me, you're gonna have Capigio, you.
Mhm.
We got an international driver that's joining
Maybe
us.
maybe we could poke Connor into
Come on, Connor.
Yeah,
the
get
Daytona
Connor.
500.
Yeah, get Connor to go in and run the
Maybe not.
Daytona 500.
That's IndyCar, right?
No,
No,
that's
no,
NASCAR,
no.
baby.
NASCAR.
Oh,
That's
it's are they the Cup cars?
Daytona 500.
Yes,
I did
Cup
not say
cars,
Indianapolis
yes, Cup
500.
cars.
Which, by the way, we will be doing that too. I'm
Yes,
sure.
we will.
Yes.
500.
He'll get
Daytona's
back to
easy,
us.
bro.
Oh yeah.
You ran up front at Daytona and
Yeah,
XMS.
and the-
Come on,
and the-
you didn't let a
and the-
couple laps.
Yeah. Come
mean-
on.
14.
Hey, 14 is enough. You're running
Yeah.
the Daytona 500.
Just
I will
kidding.
strangle you if you don't.
All I gotta say is those 14 laps were the scariest 14 laps of that entire season.
Ow! Going out with a shot.
Well, I guess
Because
who
one
was
it
pushing
was
you?
Joe.
Oh, well,
So
okay,
that was-
yeah,
that-
no.
Yeah,
That's-
so-
that- okay, that's understandable.
That eased the pain.
a little.
But y'all gotta remember, I missed the pit stop, so I was on old tires.
Oh.
Yeah, but tires don't matter at Daytona. That's the thing.
Oh no!
They did.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah,
Are they
do.
really? Holy
That-
shit.
I shit you not, Mike. I was loosey goosey that
So,
whole time.
really?
Okay, so here's what I told Paul in the Xfinity race. We're getting ready to make our last pit stop. He said, "Oh, I'm going to take 2. I'm going to take rights." I said, "You're crazy if you take rights." I said, "You are going to spin out and you're going to crash and you're going to die." What does he do? He takes rights. Guess what he does 2 laps later?
Spins out, crashes, dies. He went to
Yeah.
see Dale.
Yeah, he went to go see Dale. Now, my wise ass, you know what I did? I took 2 tires. I took lefts.
Yeah, you take lefts.
And
The
that-
lefts are what you want to take.
And that is what almost won me the race. I'm just saying, because I didn't pit the rest of the race.
Yep.
If it wasn't for
Oh,
Jim
that's
Ott blowing
great.
his motor in the middle of the pack, I think I win Daytona.
Oh my God, yeah.
I
but
think
you
I
still-
really do think I win that race.
You still had to fight with
I
Torres,
had
though.
to fight with Joe Torres and Austin
Mm-hmm.
Aubrey, but I had a hell of a pusher because Jim Ott was really good at pushing that night.
Yeah.
he was giving me some solid pushes.
I mean, I was there too until my engine decided, I take that right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your shifter decided, hey, I'm going to go from 4th to 3rd, and you're just
Yeah,
just
for
gonna
no
not have
reason.
anything to do about it.
Yeah, it's like you're just gonna go for a ride and you're gonna like it and go back and have a beer.
Mike,
Okay.
that's Mike, that's not the DRS button, just so you know.
Oh.
Got him.
Oh man, we need to make a sound for that. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder.
Hey Mike, do we want to talk about that that DRS that pit limiter flip there for a second? Nope. We're not
No,
gonna
we
talk
don't.
about it.
Nope. Saving fuel. I'm just saving fuel.
I'm just saving fuel.
boys.
I'm just saving fuel. I'm
I
preventing.
will say it was a little hairy there at the last run of the race there
Oh,
for Robinson at the
Oh,
end. And I thought I
yeah,
was,
you missed pit
I,
road.
I was
I
ready
missed
to
pit
murder him. He
road.
went around in 6th gear just to make sure that he didn't run us out of gas.
Hey, did it work?
Oh, it worked.
It
Oh,
worked.
You lucky we had a 5-lap lead. I'm just saying.
Look. The fact that it sputtered by the time I hit pit road and I coasted into the fucking pit box.
And didn't
Made it all the
overshoot
better.
your box.
It didn't overshoot it. That's the crazy thing. I mean, it stayed there and it was like,
Yeah, me
guys,
once
I'm not going to lie. I deserved the entire ass chewing that I got from Gary, but it was worth it. It was funny. I loved it.
Well, my ass chewings are always comical. You
Yeah.
gotta laugh a little bit. I can't take myself too damn serious. I
Well,
wasn't like fully mad. I was just like, come on, Mike, really?
I
How are you
mean,
gonna miss pit road when I told you 3 times that lap to pit? Cutting
it
this
was
lap.
like I said, it was a party in Discord.
I think you were a little tired. And that, and I don't think you heard me because everybody was talking.
Yeah, that too. Connor, you loudmouth.
Here's the your anyway.
You're
Well, I do want to make an announcement. This is actually going to be the last All-Star Sports Report for a while. Might make a comeback here in a couple 3 months. We'll just kind of see. I need a little bit of a break. I know Mike needs a little bit of a break, and we'll just kind of see and regroup and see where we land here over the next couple of months. But I just want to say that's been fun. Glad I was able to do this last episode for a while with 3 of y'all. But any final thoughts or any thanks or anything about racing this year? What are you guys looking forward to most in the 2025 season?
me. I'm looking forward to this F1 season. I'm really excited for this new era in Ferrari. It's gonna feel really good to be able to root for Ferrari again and actually get to wear that red.
You can always wear the
And
red.
I
Everyone's
know.
always a Ferrari fan.
I mean, once a Ferrari fan, always a Ferrari fan. You ain't wrong. I'm really looking forward to this Trackhouse season. I'm really looking forward to seeing Red Bull back on those cars. Um, I'm excited for what's to come for 2025.
All right, Connor, what about you?
Man, same thing. You know, I'm excited for F1. Um, we'll see if Max can break the Red Bull, 4 times, make it a 5. But we'll see. He has to battle Lando and now Lewis again. So we shall see. With our iRacing stuff, man, I'm super excited for all of it. To be honest, I'm excited for more stock cars because, to be honest, every Wednesday I have a blast, man.
I knew he would. I
There
knew
you
he
go.
would.
So
Once
coming
the
up-
oval bug bit him.
me being a road guy and me finally like understanding how oval stuff, is working, man, it's a whole new world.
It's
Like
a different
ball
really
game,
is. It
man.
really is different.
I like when it comes to like real life, I grew up watching NASCAR. I always thought it was just,
Left
left
turn.
just left turn, but
And hold
doing
the
it
wheel.
now, but now doing it, shit, man.
It's completely
Like,
different.
it's not the real thing, but as how close iRacing is, whoo, man, that is some tough racing right there. I tell you what. Like,
Capricio, what about you?
I'm just looking forward to 2025 as a whole. Everything from our racing stuff to NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, IMSA. I think it's going to be an outstanding year on both ends, real life and on our team. Looking forward to everything that is ahead this year. I wanted to say thank you for AJ and for letting us crash every Wednesday, not Wednesday. Oh my goodness, I was thinking about my broadcasting, but every Friday night or every other Friday night. But it was a lot of fun. This is not a goodbye. This is a see you later. And I want to thank everybody that liked the streams and reached out and commented along with us. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have, and I think for me, final thoughts here. It's been a fun ride. This last 12, 13 months of doing podcasts, starting out with Joe, touching with the off and turn one stuff, and then bringing you on later, and then changing and kind of doing a little bit of a rebrand. It's been fun, but just need to kind of take some time, a little bit of a break for myself, get some things in order. As I'm getting old. I like saying that, but
shut the hell up. Shut the hell
30,
up.
I'm still young, right? But there's just some things that I need to change my focus on a little bit for this year. I'm excited though. The rest of the NFL season. Looking forward to the Super Bowl. That should be fun. But racing side, looking forward to the NASCAR season. I think it's going to be intriguing, especially with some of the couple lawsuits that NASCAR's got in their hands on how those are going to turn out between Front Row and 2311 and NASCAR. I think that's going to be interesting. I think IndyCar, a new era has begun with Will Buxton. I'm really looking forward to see how he does, and with Fox. I know he's worked for Fox in the past, but it'll be nice to see that whole era unfold. IMSA, really looking forward to that. That's going to be fun, especially when they come back to Indianapolis here in September for the 6-hour. Looking forward to that. And the NASCAR season, Trackhouse. I think this could. I think adding the third team is really going to help those guys.
Yes.
They kind of struggled last year at times, especially with trying to get both cars to win. It's been a struggle for them. Seeing now that they've added this third car, I think it's going to help them with more data sharing because I think they've been kind of limited in their resources. I think another car is going to help them, and even running a fourth car sometimes with Leo in the 500 because he will make the Daytona 500. And with Connor Zillage running the 87 in a couple races, especially Coda, I think Trackhouse will be
Trevor's going to be
this
me.
year.
Yeah.
It'll be tough to beat this year. And of course with the Hendricks of the world and everybody else. So
Oh, yeah.
signing off. That's final thoughts. What do you guys think about 2025? I guess that's the question of the day. Motorsports related or sports related. Whatever you want to see. 2025. What's your thoughts? What are you looking forward to the most? And again, this is not a goodbye. This is a see you later. We'll review this here over the next couple months to see where we stand. But with that, I'm Gary. That's Mike. That's Mike. That's Connor. We're out of here. Good night, America. Screw Canada.
Good night.
And because I know Campesio's going to say it, we're